Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal. So Noni Madueke has arrived for his Arsenal medical, which will take place over the weekend. He was meant to stay with Chelsea up until after the Club World Cup final, but according to Enzo Maresca, who was asked the question just a couple of hours ago, he said that Noni Madueke asked to leave as early as possible. He wants to join Arsenal as soon as possible and then get the medical done over the weekend, and then I would assume join the rest of the team in Spain. They've already been in Spain for a couple of days, so I think he will be part of that by Monday or Tuesday. So he's the one who's asked to leave. So he did not want to stay with Chelsea. Very interesting, because I was like, why is he not staying there? Because there's a final coming up, but maybe he knows he's not going to play, or maybe he knows PSG is going to win anyway, so he does not need to stay there. So this will officially be our fourth signing of the transfer window. That is how many players expected us to sign. I thought we were only going to sign 4 players, but it's definitely going to be more than that. That is 4 players done. I already know you're interested in getting Oskera, Gyokeres, Eze, all these guys. I would expect us to sign at least 3 more players. So that will take the total up to at least 7 players. So that explains why we brought in Andrea Bata. We knew that it was going to be a very busy transfer window, not just in terms of incomings and how much we needed to do with our squad, but also in terms of outgoings, finalizing all the deals for the players who are coming back from loan, the players who need to be sold, and on top of that, the new deals that we also need to do with players like Saka and Gabriel and Lewis Gale, all these guys. I think that is why they appointed Andrea Bata, because it was going to be a very busy transfer window. So this is what Fabrizio had to say about Noni Madueke. Arsenal and Chelsea have now completed documents exchanged for Noni Madueke deal. Agreement sealed. Madueke will undergo his medical over the weekend and then sign 5-year deal at Arsenal. 52 million deal done, as exclusively revealed yesterday. So this one is done. He's already arrived for his medical. The medical will take place over the weekend. He'll obviously pass and then join the rest of the team on Monday. So I'd assume on Monday. I'm just assuming it's going to be on Monday. And then David Onsin says Noni Madueke granted permission by Chelsea to leave camp in USA. At first, they denied it. At first, they had said, no, Madueke is not going to leave right now. We're going to wait up until after the Club World Cup. But Madueke requested himself to leave. So that is very interesting. The 23-year-old will not train with Chelsea and flies to UK today. So this was earlier today, that was 8 hours ago. After full agreement reached on £52 million deal, 5-year Arsenal contract in place. So this is done. That will officially be our 4th signing. This was Enzo Maresca speaking earlier today. He was asked about Noni Madueke, and he said it was Noni that decided to leave, and if he's happy, then we are happy. So he did not want to stay at Chelsea at all. He wanted to make the move to Arsenal as soon as possible. So hopefully it's part of the preseason. I'm very, very interested in looking forward to see where he plays for us and how he fits in this team. Is he going to just be a backup for Saka most of the time? Is he going to start a few games ahead of Saka so that Saka can be rested and doesn't play as many games as he's been playing, because that injury last season was brutal for him and for us? Is he going to be featuring on the left side a lot of times? Is he going to be coming off the bench for Saka? How is it going to be for him at Arsenal? I'm really looking forward to seeing that. So I was really looking forward to seeing Norgard and obviously Zubimendi in midfield, how they would fit in at Arsenal. But obviously when you have new signings, you always look forward to seeing how they would fit. But this particular one, because of how it has been received by the Arsenal fans and the media and everyone, and the amount of money and all that, it's going to be very interesting to see how it fits in. Now, speaking of money, Hand of Arsenal confirmed that Noni Madueke's move to Arsenal is worth an initial 48.5 million, with a further 3.5 million in basic add-ons. So we are paying 48 million up front, and then later on 3.5 million. So it's a lot of money. So let's see how it does. Hopefully he settles in as quickly as possible, and he surprises all the Arsenal fans. And by December, you're talking about, wow, Madueke already has 10 goals in the league. He's even maybe scored more than Gyokeres. Okay, you wouldn't want that, because if you sign Gyokeres, you want him to have more than 10 goals by December. But you know what I mean. If he has like 10 plus goal contributions by then, and he's being a very good backup for Saka on that side, and he's helping us on the left side as well, and he's proving everyone wrong, then that would be great. So let's see how it goes with Madueke, but he will pass his medical over the weekend and then join the rest of the team in Spain. That is what I assume would happen. I don't think he's going just to stay until the team comes back in England. No, he would definitely join them in Spain, or maybe even the medical is taking place in Spain. So who knows? We don't know where he's arriving. Is it in England? Is it in Spain? We don't know about that one. So let's see. Next up, this was Eze. This is what the update we got on Eze today. Nothing really has changed, but Ryan Taylor said Arsenal look poised to make a formal approach to Crystal Palace over Eberechi Eze following several rounds of discussions with his representatives. Crystal Palace are optimistic they can fend off interest by pointing Arsenal towards the player's 68 million release clause, as they have no desire to negotiate below that figure. Arsenal's preference is to explore the possibility of signing Eze for a cheaper fee, though they're still prepared to put significant cash on the table. So I say nothing has changed with Eze, but over the last couple of hours, something has changed. Crystal Palace have been demoted from the Europa League to the Conference League, so they're not actually going to play the Conference League. They're not going to play the Europa League. They're going to play the Conference League because Lyon, same owners, they can't play in the same competition. I just don't know how that thing works, because I saw Girona and Man City playing in the same competition, Nice and United playing in the same competition. But it's very unfair on Crystal Palace. But that kind of helps us. So does that mean Crystal Palace are more desperate to get rid of him? They need the money more, or does that make Eze feel like he needs to leave right now because now they're not going to be playing in the Europa League? It's a disadvantage for them. Not happy that they did that to Crystal Palace, but maybe that allows us to get Eze as soon as possible. I don't know if that changes anything in terms of the cash, or since they're now not in the Europa League, does that make them even more desperate to get that 68 million, because it's going to help them, get players, because there's rumors of Mateta leaving, there's rumors of other players leaving. How is it going to work? So let's see how it goes. But that has changed today. We are definitely going to make an approach for Eze. There's been talks about Liverpool potentially wanting him as well, but because he was an Arsenal player and he wants to stay in England and he's already agreed to join Arsenal, I guess this is like the Gyokeres one, not directly like the Gyokeres one, because Gyokeres just wants Arsenal. I don't know about Eze, but because of it's just the money that we need to pay to get the player. Let's see how it goes. But let's hope we can finalize this Madueke one and Gyokeres as soon as possible, and then try to get Eze. If we can get him before that AC Milan game on the 23rd, that would be so brilliant. So that's the latest on Eze. So that is what has changed today. Now for Viktor Gyokeres, David Onstin reported this earlier today. Viktor Gyokeres does not intend to report for pre-season, but for prison at Sporting amid Arsenal pursuit. 27-year-old required to join squad Saturday, but told Sporting president he won't play for club again. 5-year Arsenal deal, ready subject to fee being agreed. So it's not going to go back to their training. So this is a player who's desperate to join Arsenal, man. Like, he is very, very desperate to join us. I've never seen anything like this. Like, everything that he's done, we've been told that he's broken up with his girlfriend. We've been told that he's given up his salary so that Arsenal can sign him. We've been told that he does not want to train. He's refused to train. We've been told that he's been calling the Sporting president numerous times to try and get a deal done. He's been talking to Arteta. He's been talking to Andrea Bata, saying, he's not going to go to any other team. He's rejected Man United. I've read somewhere that he rejected Man United at least 3 times before deciding he wants to go to Arsenal. So all of that, or Man United have been coming back for him, but he's been rejecting them a second and a third time. That is fantastic, man. This is a player that we desperately need to get at Arsenal, not just because we desperately need a striker, but because desperately wants to join us, and doesn't change the fact that he's a player that has scored 97 goals in 2 years. That is absolutely incredible numbers. So that is what David Onstin reported, and Fabrizio said this as well. Viktor Gyokeres will not show up in training at Sporting today, tomorrow, or at any moment this summer. His decision is clear, as reported during the week. He only wants Arsenal. It's over with Sporting. Gyokeres also informed Sporting president about that 5 days ago. So let's see if we can make any progress over this weekend, if we can get a here we go, so that we can finalize this deal, as that is what people are waiting for, the here we go. Not even him signing, pen to paper or medical or anything. People are waiting for that here we go. After we get that here we go and we know that Gyokeres is going to join Arsenal, that is great. How long after that will it take for him to join the team in preseason? I don't know. I'd like to hope that it's going to be right before the game against AC Milan, but we're not sure about that. Let's just wait and see if you're going to push it more to try and get that fee down below the 65 million euros, because Sporting wants something close to I think 70 million euros plus 10 million in add-ons, and Arsenal want to pay a total package of 65 million euros and maybe a bit of add-ons. So all that, we have to agree with Sporting. They're not going to sell him unless we agree on a fee, unless we push them so well and Andrea Bata does an incredible job and is able to get that deal for that less. For that little, then that would be great. Because for me, I personally think Gyokeres is an 80 million pound player, not a 56 million pound player. So let's see how it goes. He's in his prime. He's already agreed to join us. So he's already agreed on a 5-year contract, 200,000 per week. all that is super, super positive. So let's see what happens this weekend. We'll keep you guys informed as always. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you on the next one.